Hey everyone, what's up? Kaiju no Kami here, and this is Q&A 6, not 5. I did 5 in December. I don't know why I had said this was going to be Q&A 5 in the announcement video, but it's Q&A 6, which means I've already done 5 of these prior to this. That's a lot, but I hope you guys are enjoying them. I've got 3 pages worth of questions here. I don't know if you can see them very well, but yeah, and I've recycled paper on my old script from Ray Earth, so there's stuff on the back that's not the questions, so you're not going to see me go, oh, is it? No. Alright, let me just get right to answering these because I do have a lot of questions, and I'm sure you guys have a lot, don't want to spend like 10 hours watching me just answer questions. Alright, wow, I'm messing up right now. Chandler Chamberlain asks, what are the best video game movies you ever saw in your entire life? Best video game movies? The first Mortal Kombat and the first Silent Hill. I liked how both of them felt like they were the game brought to the movies. And my hair is going to get in my way, annoying and in my way because it's all wet right now because I had just finished filming a review before I did this and I needed to mess my hair up in the review, so I needed to get my hair fixed for this, so okay. Shay Smithers, for the Q&A, what are your favorite anime movies of all time and why? If you'd rather wait to save for them for a future top 10 video, that's cool. My favorite anime movies, Redline is amazing. Princess Mononoke, The Wind Rises, Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, Akira. Well, the first Ghost in the Shell might not be one of my top favorites, but that's a good one. Tiger and Bunny. A couple of the Dragon Ball, Battle of Gods, and Resurrection F, One Piece, Film Z, and Strong World, and Film Gold. The Sailor Moon movies, specifically R and S. Perfect Blue, that one's a really good one. I love the Hitchcock feel. So those are the movies I can think of off the top of my head that I really love. Actually, most of Miyazaki's movies I like as well. I really loved, wow, now I can't think of it. Dun dun dun. Okay, well, you got the idea. Well, just say Miyazaki stuff. Totoro. Moving on. Oh, Lupin the Third, the Castle Cagliostro. That's what I was trying to think of. That was really, really good. Alright. You've given the reins to write your own story. You're given the reins to write your own... Wow. You're given the reins to write your own storyline for one comic character from Marvel and one for DC. Who would you write for? What other characters would you use? And how would the story go? One character... Apocalypse? No. Not Apocalypse. Thanos versus Darkseid. I would have an all-out battle. A battle royal between those two. Darkseid tries to kill Thanos. Death resurrects Thanos. And then they just decide, hey, you know what? We're both evil. We're cool. We're going to bro fist and be done with it. Yeah, that's what I would do. Zachzilla. First question. Have you heard about Labyrinthia and... Oh, yeah, this one... for some reason got sent to the spam folder before I did the last Q&A, so I don't know why it got sent there, but it did, so I'm reading it now for this Q&A. Have you heard about Labyrinthia Deploy's collaborative psychedelic supergroup called LSD? I have not. I know you have had left me a link to go check it out. I'll try to do so at some point if I remember. 2. Have you heard about Godzilla Land, and what is your favorite episode and bit? I have not heard of that either. I will have to check that out. My favorite episode is Hiragana, and my favorite bit of all time is How to Bite Godzilla's Tail with Mothra from this episode. Sounds kind of fun. Like I said, I'll have to try to find time to look that up. I know I'm probably going to forget like right after I put this video out because we have Anime Detour coming out next week, and so it's kind of busy. Jason Ragas. I think I just spelled your name. Pronounced your name wrong, but can you review Giant Robo the animation? I'm sure I'll get around to it someday, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Also, any plans on the next top 10 list? Yeah, actually, I've got a couple top 10 lists planned. My top 10 favorites, either Doctor Who episodes or Tom Baker Doctor Who episodes. I want to do a top 10 favorite Sentai video, but I've been kind of waiting till I see Alba Ranger subtitled to actually do that, since that's the kind of the wild card in my list right now. I do want to still do my top 10 least favorite classic Simpsons episodes, because since I've looked at the good ones, I've looked at the good from the modern era, and I've looked at the bad overall, I think it's only fair to talk about the bad episodes from the classic era, because not every episode from the classic era was good. There were some real stinkers in there. Ones that I enjoy them. I enjoy them more now than I did back then, but they're still not exactly the greatest episodes, like Homer Palooza. So yeah, those are my top plans for top 10 lists. I just need time to do them. I've been so busy getting ready for Anime Detour, working on the Ray Earth review for the Patreon requests, working on my upcoming horror movie remake month, and getting ready for Hurricaneger with having reviewed Masked Man, currently watching Go-Onger to review also later on this year. I've been quite busy. And I did actually, heaven forbid, spend some time to play Spider-Man over the last few weeks. So, what? You took time off to enjoy a video game? How dare you? I know, very selfish of me. But Spider-Man for PS2. Spider-Man for PS4 is frickin' amazing. It's spectacular and ultimate. Okay, anyway, Raptor Daptor 47. Robert, how did I get it? Raptor Daptor 47. I like that name. That's kind of cool. What's your favorite Godzilla movie? Mothra vs. Godzilla. What's your favorite Godzilla monster? I'm assuming other... Wait, what's your favorite Godzilla monster? So maybe that's what are your... Okay. Monsters, I'm going to guess S means multiples. Other than Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, King Caesar, King Ghidorah, Gigan, Anguirus. I can't speak now for some reason. Kiru. We'll just go with those. And Biolante. Don't know how I forget Biolante, but Biolante. Alright. Where are we? James Sullivan. Hello, Kaiji no Kami. Sorry if you've already answered this question. It's okay. I'll re-answer questions if that's what you want. But why is your logo a squid? Thanks in advance, and I love your work. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. So my logo is kind of based off two things. My character, Kaiji no Kami, is, as you know, I sit down in a chair and I will occasionally, every now and then, depends on the review, have a Godzilla that I'm petting. So my logo, my character, is kind of based on Spectre from James Bond and Blofeld. So the Godzilla is basically like my white cat that you see Blofeld have, that they carried over into like Inspector Gadget with Dr. Claw and this cat. In Austin Powers, Dr. Evil with his cat in the first movie, and so forth. So my logo is a squid, tentacles with Godzilla's head. Specifically, I took the image from the Megaguirus Godzilla and just put the Godzilla head with tentacles on it to make my logo. So it's kind of like meant to be a homage to Spectre and Godzilla, two of the longest running movie franchises out there, and two of my favorite wow. Like I said, I can't speak something. Two of my favorite movie franchises. That's how I got the logo. I just thought it would be something cool, especially since I had this Godzilla figure that I could just plop here and be like, oh yeah, I'm stroking my lizard. You like this, right? Instead of my pussy. Alright. Nicholas Mace. Have you seen the trailer for Batman vs. TMNT? It is awesome. I have not. I've heard good things on the comics, so I might check it out. It might be the best thing DC's done anime-wise in like 5 years. So we'll see. I'm not sure yet, but I have not seen the trailer. Jordy Rango. Hello, Kaiji no Kami. Hope you don't mind if I ask you 2 questions. How dare you ask me 2 questions? Just because somebody asked me 5 questions does not mean you can ask 2. That's greedy. Now, what's your favorite Super Sentai series? And what's your take on Ninpu Sentai Hurricaneger? Okay, favorite Super Sentai series. This is the one downside of doing my list, because I've said this a million times, but Die Ranger. Die Ranger has never been topped in my book at all. There's Die Ranger, there's Kaku Ranger, and then there's everything else. Well, okay, June Ranger and Go-Go 5 are kind of like right here, but then there's everything else. So, Die Ranger. Hurricaneger, obviously I'll go into more detail when I actually do my review next month, because the DVD comes out next week. I like the show, but I don't think it's great. I think it plays it way too safe. They don't do enough new with it. That, like, where Kaku Ranger really went above and beyond what you'd expect and did a lot with its ninja theme. This one is kind of like Toei going, okay, we're going to do a ninja theme again, but we're going to kind of play it safe. We're going to introduce some new ideas, such as a separate Ranger team that start out as villains, but we're going to play it all the way you'd expect it to play out. That's kind of my take on Hurricaneger. I don't necessarily hate it, I just don't think it is an amazing series, but then again, who knows, maybe watching it next week when it is, airing, when I'm watching it again subbed on Shout's DVDs, I will think differently from it. I want to know where you do you get all your Super Sentai Shokakukan books? The books I use in my reviews. I get them from Mandarake. I did get the Die Ranger one from eBay in 2004, 2005 for about $30. I think now it's like $80 to get. But the other books I've gotten recently, the Hurricaneger, Aba Ranger, Gal Ranger, Go-Go 5 and all that, that I got from Mandarake. They're great. Most of them are not super expensive. The most expensive one was the Jetman book, which was 4,000 yen. The others, like, I got Aba Ranger for 1,000 yen. Go-Go 5, I think, was 1,500 yen. One of them was 2,000 yen, but none of them was more. Jetman was the most expensive. Mandarake. Just look them up. They're a really cool site. They have used goods for all kinds of stuff. I actually had gotten some of my figure arts from there. Santiago Scarpino. Thoughts on Tekkaman Blade? I love it. I own it on DVD. I eventually do want to review that show. I just don't have time to review it right now. But I love Tekkaman Blade. I love the little twist it does towards the end when the aliens kind of conquer the Earth. It's a pretty cool show. Anyone that hasn't seen it should definitely check it out. It's not exactly the greatest animation, but it is still really well done. Definitely well worth it. Let's see. Jeannie Whitcomb, if you could make a Japanese action TV show, what would it be like? It would be a team-based show with underwater mecha. They're a marine group. Their mecha would be submarines. The villains are a fire tribe of demons that want to burn the earth, so they have to use water powers and water to defeat the demons. That's the simplest way to put it. I probably feels like I'm trying to rush through these questions, maybe to you guys, but since I have so many of them, I'm trying not to spend 2 hours doing it. Let's see. Thoughts on Kamen Rider shows from the 2010s from Liquid P-Star. It varies. I love Double. Double is one of my favorite Kamen Rider shows. Same with Gaim. O's is great. O's has my favorite gimmick. I have the belt for O's that came with all the coins because it's my favorite gimmick. Haven't watched X-Aid. I gave up on Ghost after 2 episodes. I gave up on Geo after 4 episodes. I do need to check out Xade. I know I just said I never watched it, so I plan to. Forza I highly enjoyed. Wizard I liked half of it and not so much the other half, and I felt the second half ruined the first half. As I said, I love Gaim. What came after Gaim? Oh, Drive. I gave up on Drive about episode 23, 24. Somewhere around there. I just got bored of how formulaic the show was. I'll probably eventually go back and rewatch the show in full. And I really liked Build until the last 10 episodes. But I liked, one thing I loved about the 2010 shows that they started initially was the Foundation X build-up. I really liked it. I thought it was going to be cool because we were going to get a brand new Shocker-type organization. And then they did nothing with that. In fact, they pretty much disappeared after Forza. Very disappointing. Ryo Ryer 4035. I had a question about conventions. You're going to be going to Colorado Anime Fest, or is it too soon after Anime Detour that you guys won't have time or energy to make it then? Oh, we're going. We actually just got our press application approved to go to Anime Fest, and my Sailor Moon panel that I'm going to be doing at Anime Detour was also approved to be done at Anime Fest. So I'll be doing that there too. So yeah, we'll be there. We will be there. We're not staying at the hotel though, because the hotel's close to where we live, and we just don't have the money to stay at the hotel this year because, yeah, Detour is coming up next week, and because we got screwed on our tax return. So we don't have the money for a hotel for Anime Fest, so we'll just have to wing it with lack of sleep, come home, sleep for like 3-4 hours, and then go back out. Alright. Guts Me Gordon. Favorite Gundam series? Zeta, followed by Double Zeta, and then Unicorn. Do you know what Berserk is? I do. I've watched the first anime series. I've watched the movies. I've read the manga, funny enough, only up to the same point where the first anime left. And then I kind of just lost interest because it's just too damn long. And I have One Piece. I don't have time for Berserk. If Berserk was over by now, maybe I would get back into it. Although I am thinking about picking up those brand new hardcover special edition manga volumes that are coming out now. They're supposed to encompass, I think, like 3 volumes per volume or something. I might pick those up depending how long, if they plan to release the whole series that way. And if they're easy to find when I do have the money to get them. Favorite anime of all time? Gankutsu, The Count of Monte Cristo. You should also check out Guts. That I did my top 10 favorite anime list a couple years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So check it out for other series that are in my top favorites. I will say that Zeta Gundam is in there too, and obviously Gankutsu. One thing I love about Gankutsu is, besides the futuristic retelling of The Count of Monte Cristo, that everything looks like a stained glass window in action. It's so beautiful to look at. I really wish Funimation would put this out on Blu-ray already. Matt Wheaton. Do you watch mecha anime? And if so, what would be your top 5 favorites? What would be your favorite top 10 Kamen Rider series? Any intention of reviewing any of the Metal Hero series? Okay, first. Obviously, I just talked about that I do watch mech anime. My top 5 favorite mech animes in general: Zeta Gundam, Macross, Go Lion, Escaflowne, if you count that as mech, because it is technically a mech show. And I'm going to say Double Zeta. Double Zeta. I do like Mospeeda. The third arc for Robotech, if you don't know what I mean. Trying to think if there was any other mechs I loved. Well, Code Geass. Actually, you know what? Code Geass is technically a mech anime. So, actually, let's throw Code Geass in that top 5 and take out Double Zeta. Because Code Geass is freaking phenomenal. I don't know. I love that show, but yet I don't seem to always think to talk about it at times when I'm talking about my favorite anime series. Actually, that one completely skipped my top 10 anime list, even though it would probably be in my top... Well, it'd probably be an honorable mention if nothing else. I don't know, every time I kind of think for Code Geass, like, maybe I don't like that show so much. I'll watch it and be like, damn, I love this show. Actually, I remember now. Actually, yeah, I know what it is. The reason it would not make my top 10 list, it'd only make an honorable mention, is because of the first, 10 episodes to Season 2. I don't know. I just don't like those first 10 episodes. What would be your top 5 favorite Kamen Rider series? Kamen Rider Blade is number 1. Black, Double, Gaim, and probably Agito. Granted, I do need to watch more Showa Kamen Rider. I've only seen the first 22 episodes to the original. I've seen the first episode to every series, and then Black and RX. So eventually I'm going to have to watch all the others all the way through. Any intention of reviewing any of the Metal Hero series? Yes. I already had reviewed Windspectre. I was hoping to review the sequel series Soul Brain, and then life got in the way and other reviews got in the way, and I couldn't make it past episode 12, so it kind of is now backburned. G-Bon is currently being subbed by Metallic Subs, so unless Just Beyond gets released from Discotek before I have the chance to review G-Bon, I'm going to probably review G-Bon as my next Metal Hero series once that's done with, because I really, really want to see that one. I definitely do want to review Gavin and Metallica. Well, I want to review them all. It's just having time to review them all. I do still have to find time to actually sub at schools in between this, because I'm not making enough money right now where I can't just focus fully on the channel. And it's getting hard to do that when I get 2 days worth of subbing in an entire month, and that's supposed to last an entire month's paycheck. Not very good. Anyway, so yeah, I will be reviewing more Metal Hero series. It's just a matter of when. My goal is right now, I want to focus on Sentai. I want to have Sentai done by 2025, at least up to Lupin Ranger versus Pot Ranger by 2025, and then hopefully I can sprinkle in more Kamen Rider and Metal Hero series between there that don't get licensed and released, because basically though, anything that gets licensed and released legally instantly becomes a top priority. So when Just Beyond does come out from Discotek, that's going to be pretty much slotted in front of whatever fan subs I'm working on. Just like how, even though I'm watching Go-Onger right now, Hurricaneger is going to instantly take priority over Go-Onger. And then, obviously, because I do have Ray Earth Season 2 to review for my Patreon request, that's going to take priority over some other stuff as well. But I figure I want to give a little bit of time between Ray Earth Season 1 and Season 2, just to kind of digest it all. Oh, so I hope I answered your question. Jake Schuster, what are your thoughts on the new Sentai? I'm going to call Dino Knights and Beast Morphers. What? Hold on a minute. What are your thoughts on the new Sentai? Oh, I'm just going to call it Dino Knights. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Okay. Check out my video that we did yesterday for full-length thoughts on Ryu Soldier. I liked what I saw. It gave me some Gingaman vibes from the way it was presented. Maybe not in its quality, but I liked it. I have no issue with it. It's more of what are they going to do with this to make it stand out on its own, and hopefully have a plot and character development. Beast Morphers, I watched the first 2 episodes. Again, I like that one too. I don't feel like I need to watch it until the whole thing is done, but I did like what I saw. I like the characters. I like the setup. I like the little callbacks to the previous series. My favorite Morpher and Changer. Well, the Dairail, I guess it depends how you go with this. Well, I guess you're talking about Sentai, not Kamen Rider. So for Sentai, I like the aura changers from Die Ranger. They're simplistic, yet cool. And because it is my favorite series, I'm kind of biased. I do like, even though I'm not a fan of the show, I did like the stuff for Kyoruger. That was kind of cool gimmick and everything. The dancing and the gun. And the Gokaiger. Gokaiger was awesome all around for its gimmicks. Brown Bear Smith. How many Tokusatsu DVDs do you own Region 2-wise? How do you feel about how much they cost? I know some are quite expensive. You're telling me. So in the interest of time, you're pretty much seeing right here a picture of my Region 2 DVD collection of what I currently have. It's a lot easier just to show you this picture instead of going through everything I do own. I did have more. I did sell some things off. Well, I had all of Kamen Rider 5s. I had a few volumes of Kabuto, a few volumes of Deca Ranger. I also used to have the live-action Sailor Moon series as Region 2. Hopefully having that picture there showed you what I owned. If not, you can always try to pause the image and take a look at everything. Pretty much I own most of the 90s Sentai except Jetman and Mega Ranger. And a couple 2000 series. I wish there was a way to sell off Region 2 DVDs that I don't want anymore, don't need anymore. I mean, I bought these mostly because, one, it was the only way to legally support the show. Because I wanted to support the shows I loved, and that was the only way to do so at the time. And just to have it because it was cool. So I wish there was a way I could sell them off because, yeah, as you said, they are expensive. And I've tried eBay, but most people are kind of stingy on eBay. Like, I did get quite a deal on the Sailor Moon ones. Granted, it was a fraction of what I paid for every volume in full. It is what it is. I don't necessarily agree with the prices, but that's their economy. That's the way they do things. So you either just have to go with the flow and deal with their prices if you want them, or you just do without. It's just like I originally bought the entire Godzilla Heisei series, Region 2 DVD-wise, and the Millennium movies when they were coming out. And a couple Showa films, because at the time there were no Godzilla DVDs in America that were coming out subtitled. It was all dubbed only. So that was the only way to get to see them in Japanese for several years. So again, I just dealt with it, and I bought the Godzilla movies again when they came out in Japan on Blu-ray, and then I bought them again when they came out on Blu-ray and DVD in America with the subtitled versions. It's just the way it is. It sucks that they cost so much, but whatever, what you gonna do. Like I said, I wanted to own the Region 2 DVDs so I could actually support the original, the content. Same with, because I also used to own the Region 2 DVDs to the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, not Season 0, the Duel Monster series that was from Duelist Kingdom through Pharaoh's Memories. I used to own the DVDs for that too. In fact, I still own the Region 2 of the movie, since the movie has never been released in America subtitled. I have a Mega Man Battle Network or a Rockman EXE movie that was never... I don't even know if it was ever dubbed in America either. And then I have a couple drama, like the TV series called Sky High, with people that die. They can go to hell, heaven, or become a ghost. It's a pretty cool series. Media Blaster had licensed the first movie and released the first movie. That was meant to be like a prequel. It's also based on a manga series. And I have this Japanese movie called Sakuya Yokaiden that I don't think has ever been brought to America, about a lady who kills yokai. I've only seen it raw. I only know basics of what happens in the movie. So, whatever. Like I said, the prices are what they are. I probably would still buy certain things. Like, I would probably buy the Kamen Rider Blade Blu-rays if they weren't super expensive. But I figured, since I have the DVDs for Blade and Black and Ryuki, since I'm going to be watching fan subs pretty much since they've been fully subbed, there's no point to buying the Blu-rays when I own the DVDs. But yeah, I used to have a lot more than what you saw in that picture. Hero Brian Kingmaster. A taco's an instrument. I don't know. I'm not big on tacos, so I guess... Actually, yeah. Yeah, they can be used as an instrument. An instrument to make someone have to go to the bathroom a lot. There you go. Go to Mighty Taco, go to Taco Bell, have a taco from them, plan to spend the rest of your day in the bathroom. So yes, they're an instrument of pain. Earth M78 Studios. Hey Kaiju no Kami! This is Chris from Earth M78 Studios once again. Just a couple of questions for your Q&A session. 1. I mustache you a question. I love it. Mustache you a question. Silverquill would probably love that one too. 2. Jokes aside, ever looked at or made any Godzilla fan theories? What do you mean by fan theories? Like, I've made my own Godzilla fan fiction up. Like when I was in 8th grade, our English teacher would allow us to write short stories that we wanted to do, and I kind of combined elements from the Godzilla Trendmasters toy line with some ideas that were happening in Power Rangers with the search for the Zeo Crystal, and kind of combined that into my own Godzilla story for like what, funny enough, was kind of similar to what happened with Final Wars now that I think about it. Kitamura stole my idea! Not really, but no, I don't really do fan theory stuff. If you're I guess it depends what you mean by fan theories. I'm not a big fan theory person. Like, are you talking about like, well, maybe in this movie this was blah blah blah, and it actually relates to this movie blah blah blah? If so, yeah, I'm not really too big on that. My only fan theory was really dealt with John Carpenter's movie universe, because I like to think that Halloween 3 or The Fog, it's Dr. Chalice from Halloween 3 after losing his kids. He moved to San Antonio Bay, changed his name and everything, is living there, and then the hitchhiker he comes across that doesn't really want to give her name, just says she's Elizabeth, is actually a Laurie Strode on the run after Michael Myers because she doesn't want to be there right now. That's my theory of how The Fog happens. Anyway. 3. How do you think Godzilla will finish off Ghidorah in King of the Monsters? I know, potential spoiler, but it is a tradition for Godzilla to defeat Ghidorah. I think basically we're going to have Mothra's going to have to wind Ghidorah up in her cocoon. Rodan's going to have to fly Ghidorah into the sky, and Godzilla's going to blast him, blow him to pieces with his breath as he's falling back down to the ground. Hey, why not? I mean, that's not something you could do with actual costumes, so make use of the CGI monsters for once. Alright, would you want an Ultraman Kamen Rider Super Sentai crossover? No. No, I wouldn't, actually. Don't get me wrong, it would probably be kind of cool, but crossovers tend to be, we're totally out of ideas for something, let's just do a crossover and throw it together. The fans will accept it no matter what we do because they're going to love this material and they have to like it because they're fans of these products. So, I don't think I would really want a crossover. If they could get it to work, it would be cool, but no, I really don't. 5. Daleks or Cybermen? Cybermen, all the way. I love the Cybermen. Especially, so my favorite Cybermen stories are The Invasion with Patrick Troughton, Earthshock from Peter Davison, The Five Doctors from Peter Davison, and then the stuff from the second season of first season of David Tennant's run, second season of the New Doctor stuff. So when they bring in the two-parter, when they bring in the Cybermen in the alternate universe, and then the two-parter of the Daleks versus the Cybermen. So yeah, Cybermen all the way. I like them. Sincerely, Chris, High Priest of the Cult of the Almighty Gojira. Alright, this one came on Twitter. The Dude or the Dud? It's spelled the Dud, but he had a picture of the Dude on his thing, so it might just be pronounced the Dude. This is for the Q&A. What are your thoughts with after Zyuohger Sentai entering another experimental era with a large core cast of Q-Ranger? The opposing teams of Lupin Ranger versus Pod Ranger, and the new writer and director in Ryu Soldier. Okay, well, I don't yeah, I guess you could say that Toei kind of experimented, but I don't think they did enough. They threw 12 Rangers together. Okay, cool. And we're going to travel through space. But most of this time, despite we can travel through space, it's going to be generic by the book. We're going to just stick to Earth for most of the series. And when we do go to other parts, they're not going to look like they're in the actual alien planet. They're just going to look like Japan with a color filter over it. And maybe some little props. I don't think they really did enough to experiment. Yeah, experimenting your core cast or your gimmick is one thing, but they played it safe. It's like, okay, we're going to have 2 Ranger teams fight each other, but that's it. We're going to keep everything else the same. We're going to have monsters there for the Rangers to fight over. Why not just have no monsters, and it is straight up the Lupin Rangers are trying to steal something, and the Pot Rangers had to fight the main Rangers. Or, what they could have done if they wanted to experiment, 1 week is a Lupin Ranger story. Next week is a Pot Ranger story. Lupin Ranger story. Pot Ranger story. Then, an event occurs, and they have to combine both shows into one for like the last 15 or so episodes where the teams have to work together, and then it goes from being Pot Ranger 1, or Lupin Ranger 1, Pot Ranger 1, Lupin Ranger 34, Pot Ranger 30... No, actually it wouldn't be 30s because that would be... So like, Lupin Ranger 18, Pot Ranger 18, and now it's Lupin Ranger and Pot Ranger together for the last several episodes of the series. Why not do something like that? So yeah, I don't think they did enough to experiment. It's not like the 90s where they would go, okay, well, instead of giving the mecha in the first episode, we're going to have the Rangers earn the mecha episode 5, 6, 7, 8. Or, hey, you know what? We're going to bring in a new Ranger, but we're not going to make him a permanent part of the team. We're going to start him out evil and have him slowly work to helping the team out, but he's still not going to be in every episode. To even, hey, we're going to do this with the mecha. We're going to make them live beings. We're going to... There was just so much that they did in the 90s that was true experimentation where they were not playing anything safe. They were just, okay, here's what we're going to do. If this doesn't work, we'll try it differently next year. And that's how they did it. This is like, okay, we're going to do a gimmick. We're going to do this. Everything else is the same. So I don't feel like it was true experimenting. I am excited for this new writer for Ryu Soldier because he's never done Toku before. He's done drama. I'm hoping that his drama background, because that's what kind of happened with Sugimura back in the 90s, is they took this crime drama writer who then they put on Metal Heroes and then they had him go to Sentai. And look what he did for Sentai for a few years in a row. We need, or Sentai is in a desperate need for a modern day Sugimura. Even Soda did experimentation back in the 80s because he did introduce a lot of new concepts. Flashman is like full of new ideas that I never thought I would find in the 80s, because even though I'm not that big of the 80s shows, but I do have to give it credit for trying new things, like with Bioman, where there was no true Monster of the Week. It was just a general using a mech. Alright, so I hope I answered your question well. Kenshin X Nova. If you could act in a movie, which would it be? By the way, I love your videos. Thank you. I'm glad you love them. Because sometimes I make the video, I'm like, are people going to like this? They're going to like it. I don't know if I like it. There's been some videos that I felt could be better, but you know what? Sometimes there's a movie that is just so bad, there's not much you can do with the video. If you could act in a movie, which would it be? Well, I'm not an actor. But if I could be in any movie, I don't know on that one, actually. Probably a Marvel film. Or actually, no, a noir. A neo-noir would be really, really cool. Ooh. No, there we go. Spider-Man can have like, I'm recording a video session outside and Spider-Man just swings by. That would be cool. Alright, last page. And we are 40 minutes into this review, Q&A. Throat Warbler Mangrove. Interesting name. Throat Warbler Mangrove. Do you find today's society more accepting or less accepting of adults that are fans of kaiju, toku, etc., as opposed to a few years ago? I'd say it's much more accepting. I mean, with Comic-Cons being big and being mainstream media these days, everything has its stuff. Like, there are kids in schools that are having no issue talking about what they like when they like anime and stuff. Like, I will be there when I do an introduction to a class I've never subbed for before. And in my introduction, I straight up say I'm a manga, movie, anime, manga, comic, nerd. And some of the kids are like, wait, what? Besides video games, you like that? I like those too. So I think that a lot of people are way more accepting these days. And with social media, people want to participate in the things they like. Yeah, there's still going to be those people that don't get it. I mean, Tokusatsu Ga 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 is a show that perfectly shows people that just don't get it. But frankly, I don't see the difference between someone who goes to a convention cosplaying in a costume of, say, Ultraman, or Sailor Moon, or Vampire Hunter D, compared to someone who goes to a football game and dresses up in a jersey and puts a football helmet and puts paint on their face. There's no difference. The only difference is that one is for animated or fantasy and one is for, well, sort of fantasy, because football sports are kind of fantasy stuff, but there's real people playing it. So I'd say it's more accepting these days than it was before, but then it might have been as accepting back then. We just didn't know it as much because social media wasn't around for it. Chandra Chamberlain, which I should have combined these the first time, but I guess I didn't. What are your favorite moments from the Star Wars trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy? And what is the best underrated fantasy movie you've seen? Favorite moments from the original Star Wars trilogy. Let's see. The opening to A New Hope. It's pretty awesome. Obviously, the Vader and Luke fight in Empire Strikes Back. I love the scene also in Empire when Vader's walking in the on Planet Hoth, when he's walking down the frozen hallways. His just being straight out black in a white background is pretty awesome. The Stormtrooper in the original version of the original trilogy, when he hits his head on the the doorway, because he goes like boom. That's pretty cool. I love that scene. What else do I like? Favorite moments for the original trilogy. The Luke Vader battle. Anytime you have a dark room with bright lightsabers going, it's awesome. I just wish that they had the technology back then to... In fact, this is the one thing that I don't get with all the CGI changes they make to the original trilogy. Why have they not made it so that the lightsabers reflect onto the characters? Because if you're going to throw in new windows, you're going to make Ewoks blink. You're going to throw in Vader going, no! Why not actually add in the lightsabers reflecting on the characters? In fact, why not fix Luke's lightsaber color in the episode 4, since it's like a white color at times? Actually CGI that to be blue, since you want to CGI everything else. Oh, actually, speaking of things, my favorite new CGI moment from the Blu-rays for A New Hope is when R2-D2 is hiding in the rocks, and they CGI the rocks that are... So the entrance for him to get in is like only a fraction of his body mass. How R2 got in there, I don't know. But that is hilarious. But I don't think that's really what you meant. I think you meant like actually being serious about favorite moments. Well, practically everything from Empire is gold. Also, another favorite scene is when Jabba's gonna send Luke and them into the Sarlacc pit, and he's on the plank, and you have that music that's like vroom, vroom, vroom. That's another cool scene. Underrated fantasy movie. Underrated fantasy movie. I'm trying to think what the fantasy movies are. Everybody knows Labyrinth. Everybody knows Lord of the Rings. I'll see if I can think something up as I'm finishing up these questions. If I forget to, it means I didn't think of anything. Aiden de Freitas Forrester. My questions are: how do you feel about the Metal Heroes franchise from what you have seen? I like it. I've seen Beefighter Kabuto Raw because I own the Region 2s. I've seen Wind Spectre. I don't care for what I've seen of Soul Brain. It just feels like it's missing something. I've seen a bit of Gavin, which I liked. And those are the only ones I've actually seen anything from, really. What are your thoughts on the second Simpsons movie? Just give up on the Simpsons. You know what? I could spend another 20 minutes just talking about the Simpsons. Especially with the recent changing and getting rid of Stark Raving Dad. Which is just their way of getting attention because nobody cares about the show anymore, so they need something to get a headline. 3. If you could make a completely original Toku series, what kind of characters, monsters, story, and tone would it have? I kind of just talked about that earlier on with the fire, demons, and water-based series. So, I'm not going to really repeat that one. Sorry, dude, on that one. What do you think is the best decade for Toku? 90s. Well, I guess it depends on which... I mean, it's hard. Like, I feel like the original Ultraman show and Ultra 7 in the 60s were the best Ultraman shows. The 2000s have been the best for Kamen Rider. The 90s were definitely the best for Super Sentai. And probably Metal Heroes. Because you did have Beefighter, Beefighter Kabuto... G-Bomb, wait. Because Wind Spectre was 91, right? And G-Bomb was 1990. Which can go either way. You can put it in 80s or 90s. But I'm going to say the 90s for Metal Heroes. I also do think, though, Ultraman Nexus was amazing. So, maybe 2000s for Ultraman. No, I'm going to stick with the 60s for Ultraman. Alright. 5. How would you rank the Evil Dead movies? Hey, actually... Oh, no. That was your... You added that recently, after. Army of Darkness, number 1. Evil Dead 2 would be number 2. The TV series, at least the first 2 seasons. I haven't seen Season 3 yet. Them canceling the series before I got to watch Season 3 kind of killed my mood to watch Season 3. I'll eventually get around to it. Same with like Daredevil Season 3 and Punisher Season 2. But I'm in no rush. There's no need since there's no more seasons coming out. Then the original Evil Dead, and then if I really need to put it on the list, the remake. It should have been called Darwinism the movie, though, because every character in that movie did something stupid to get killed, and they deserved it. Alright, Douglas Napoli. Dear Kaiju no Kami, hello. I hope you are doing well. I think I am. I've been watching your videos for a few months now. Cool. Glad you're enjoying them. I quickly became a fan since I love all the stuff you cover, especially Godzilla. I really appreciate your knowledge on everything you talk about. I just saw you're doing another Q&A video, and there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Have you ever watched Ultraman Nexus? If not, I highly recommend it, and I really hope you do a review on it. Also, have you ever seen or watched Akira? If not, again, I recommend it, and I hope you review it too. Thank you for your time. Well, I pretty much have answered your questions in my previous answers throughout this video. But yes, I have watched Ultraman Nexus. I liked it. I would love to do a review of it. Well, actually, I shouldn't say no. I would love to do a review of it, but here's the thing. Most of the Ultraman series have been licensed. I don't want to step on the licensor's license. So I will only review Ultraman series that have been licensed in America if they come out with a physical copy. Because I'm not going to, even though I could watch it on Toku, or at the time it was Crunchyroll, I would have to rip my footage from another source. It won't be the same, it might not even be the same subtitles that that company used. But I don't want to do that because it is legally available in the States. I would rather review it from a legal copy. Therefore, because it's only available streaming, and I don't have a way to rip those streams, I know that somebody else could, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to review it because it's licensed. If they ever release it out on Blu-ray or DVD in America, I will definitely buy it. I will definitely review it. It's just like with because Just Beyond is coming out, even though there's fan subs of it, and actually Discotek bought the fan subs for their Blu-ray release. I'm gonna wait till Discotek's actual physical release comes out, and then I'll review it. Kamen Rider's kind of okay right now because no one owns the license to anything except Amazon's. And I do own the release of Kamen Rider the First that I will eventually get to review. I own the Region 2 DVD that is subbed of Ultraman the Next, so I will review that at some point. In fact, I was originally going to review it like last year? No, the year. Holy crap, I was going to review that in 2017 and never got the chance to. Because that also had, the Region 2 has English subtitles on it, so I'm good there. But Nexus, Tiga, I wish I never got rid of those DVDs. But all the series that have been licensed that don't have physical releases, I'm not going to review until a physical release comes out. I know some people are kind of find that weird that I would review fan subs, but I won't review a fan sub if it's out legally. Some people find that weird. I have friends in the industry and they lose a lot of money when there are fan subs. So I only don't want to review fan subs if it's legally available in the US, if it's legally licensed. I hope that explains my things better. Like right now, like for, let's say, Go Ranger for Sentai. Shout Factory has not announced they own the license to it. So therefore, I reviewed Go Ranger. 5-Man, Jetman, at the time, Shout Factory did not announce they have the license for it. Therefore, I reviewed them. Now, for Turbo Ranger, which is like right after, which is between Liveman and 5-Man, Turbo Ranger, because Shout Factory is most likely going to be releasing Turbo Ranger this year, I'm not going to review the fan subs. That's assuming that the fan subber even finishes Turbo Ranger before Shout announces it. I don't think, it depends how, he's been doing such a great job of keeping up with the releases recently. I don't think I think he'll get done before Shout announces it. But because the release for Shout was possibly going to be so close to this point, I'm going to hold up. Just like I'm not going to review Aba Ranger, Maji Ranger, Deca Ranger, Bokenger until Shout does them, because their releases are going to be within the next 24 months, I'm going to say. Now, Battle Fever J, Goanger, Shinkenger, those are still going to be several years away from Shout. So I'm going to review those, the fan subs for those now, and then I'll do a DVD review later. I hope that makes sense. And again, Akira, seen it. I own the Blu-ray. I've actually bought that movie like several times now. I bought it once on DVD, twice on Blu-ray, because I bought the Bandai release on Blu-ray, and then I bought the Funimation release on Blu-ray. So yes, I do like Akira. It's not like my top, like, I know some people are like, oh, Akira's the greatest anime movie of all time. No, not for me, but I do like it. Anyway, I need to, let's see. So thanks again for watching my reviews. I'm glad you enjoy them. Alright. Nolan Ueno. Ueno. 1. What top 5 Ultra shows, what top 5 Ultraman shows do you recommend to newcomers? The original from 66, Ultra 7, Nexus, Orb, And Tiga, actually. Tiga was actually the first Ultraman show I watched fully subtitled because I bought the Funimation DVDs. That was the first show I watched in Japanese in full. The other, before that, it was Ultra 7 on TNT, English dubbed, edited, when it aired back in the 90s. Oh, actually no. I also owned a couple Ultra 7 Region 2 DVDs. There were no subtitles, but I did own a couple Region 2 DVDs of Ultra 7 and then got rid of them at one point. I forgot about that when I was talking about the Region 2 DVDs before. 2. I want to get into Sailor Moon, but I don't know where to start and continue from there. What do you recommend I do? Just go with start with the first 90s anime series. They've got the first 4 seasons out from Viz. Wow. Viz has released the first 4 seasons on Blu-ray so far. The final season, Sailor Stars, is coming out later on this year. They have a brand new dub that is excellent. Go with the original anime series. It's out now. By the time you probably get through the whole series, Stars will probably be finished. And then you can work your way up with Christo and maybe the live action if you like what you've seen with the series. But right now, start with the original anime. It's very 90s, especially in its animation style, because it does have like those static backgrounds and everything, but it's well worth it. So yeah, just start at the beginning of the anime series. Manga, I would say... No. Read the manga after the series. If you want to read the manga. 3. Have you seen Ruby? If so, what do you think of the show? If so, do you think the show hasn't been in decline after Volume 4? I have not seen Ruby. It's just I don't have time for it. I've never felt the need to go out and watch it. There's been some cool designs from what I've seen of it, but I just have not had an interest in doing so. It doesn't mean I won't in the future, but right now I just don't have the interest. Kamen Rider 64. 1. Since it's 2019, does anything feel different to you, or does it feel the same as last year? Well, of course it's different from last year. This has a 9 in front of the 201. Right now, there's really nothing that feels different. Are you familiar with Image Comics and their characters? Yes, but not as much of the current characters, because some of them are now DC characters like Wildcats and Gen 13. I don't know if Image still owns like Max and Shadowhawk and Deathblow. They still own Youngblood though, right? I think Youngblood is still Image. Is Spawn still part of Image? Either way. So I am familiar with them. I did like them in the 90s, even though they were like bootleg X-Men and DC characters. 3. Have you heard of the game Jump Force? I have. One of my friends, I think, already bought it. I think Chris Litch Bloodborne bought it already. But either way, I have. I'm not going to play it because I don't like the trend in fighting games these days where they do this whole BS of character. We're going to put these characters in the game, but then you have to buy the other characters separately. Give me all the goddamn characters in one thing. Don't either make the characters just be unlockables by certain achievements. Do not make me have to buy the friggin' characters for additional money. That's bullshit. I buy a game to get the full game, not half the game. So, I'm not going to touch Jump Force unless they do like a complete edition years later. By then I might not even care enough to... Anyway, it's just like Mortal Kombat. I didn't play X. Well, actually, I haven't even played... I didn't get X until XL came out. I'm not going to touch Mortal Kombat 11 until the complete edition comes out. I'm sick of this. Oh, we're going to give you a fighting game, but we're going to intentionally hold back the roster to sell you the characters separately. No. That's not how it works. Either sell your game for $60 for the whole roster, or sell your game for $100 for the entire roster and have the entire roster there when you get the game. Enough of this crap of you buy the game and then you can buy the characters in packs later on. No. That's stupid. 4. Are you aware of the Vic Mignogna situation? I am. I am not getting involved in it. I don't have all the facts, so I don't know what is true and what's not. I'm just going to say that it's a mess, and it's going to change the way we see voice actors being acting to fans in conventions. We're probably no longer going to have Scott McNeil at NDK going in the hallway, "Hey, I'm going across the street to get some slushies. Who wants to go with me?" It's all going to change now from that. But yeah, I know the situation. I don't know the full details. I don't want to know the full details because it's not my business. Finally, last question after an hour. Lucas YT Paradise. Are you planning to review Are you planning to review Akira Kurosawa's movies in the future? No. Doesn't mean I won't. Again, I will always leave things open. It just means that right now I am not even thinking about it because I have so many other movies to review. I want to finish up Toho's Kaiju movies with Dogora and Latitude Zero this year. I'm hoping I can get through those in the summer. I've got a couple other movies that people have given me to review. Kajumono, Calamari Wrestler, Garuda, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Then obviously I have my Patreon request for Rare Season 2. Might have more Patreon requests in there. So it's going to be a pretty busy time for the next while. And like I said, I want to get Sentai done by 2025. So I'm going to be busy for a while. But you never know. Maybe once in a while I might go, I'm kind of sick of reviewing Sentai. Let's take a month off from watching Sentai and just review some movies I haven't reviewed before that aren't my normal part of the channel. I do want to get back to my film noir series where I reviewed Double Indemnity and that's it and never went back to anything else. Like I said, just got too busy. 50 episode TV series do take up a lot of time. But right now, no, I'm not going to. If I did, though, I would probably start with either Seven Samurai or Rashomon. It is Rashomon, right? Where's the multiple viewpoints? Yeah. Alright, so that is the end of the Q&A for this long time, no matter how quick I tried to go through it. Thank you so much for your guys' questions. I hope you enjoyed your answers. I hope I answered your questions good. I hope that I got everyone's questions. I double-checked and triple-checked before I printed this out to make sure I did indeed copy everyone's questions. I went through my email, through Twitter, through Facebook, through the comments, and I didn't see anything I missed. Although maybe something got sent to spam if it was in YouTube for some reason. So enjoy. Have a good weekend. I'm going to be seeing Us tonight. I'll probably do a quick review if I feel like it at this point. If I have time with Detour next week. And until next time, bye.